This was an outcast, a buffoon, a clown, an unusual undesirable, in a typical town. He was not well respected and not very tall. In fact, he was really nothing at all. People would laugh, poke fun at him too. He became a sad harlequin, all checkered in blue. But he was a man of many talents, this clown all checkered in blue. He played many instruments. This list is quite long, so I will just name a few. He played the trombone, saxophone, xylophone, drums, bass, guitar, panpipe, banjo, cello, harmonica, harpsichord, piano, trumpet, French horn, tin whistle, bassoon, clarinet, cornet, accordion, kazoo, ukulele, fiddle, flute, lute, and mandolin. On a fine spring day, the first day of May, he played a tune on the fiddle as he stood in the middle of the little country town. Then he put his fiddle down and played a flute with a soft sound as people gathered round. Next, on that fine day in the spring, he played a tune on the lute. The people asked, "Why don't you sing?" He couldn't sing, for you see, he was a mute. All he could do was to stand there silent. The crowd began to hiss and boo. They cried,
"Answer, or we'll be violent, and we'll throw stones and things at you."
Thus they mocked the checkered elf. They made him feel weak and meek. The poor harlequin could not defend himself, for not a word could he speak. It seemed he was really nothing at all. So he sadly played as he sat on the wall. But then one day there came their way a man who needed a place to stay. This man, who was traveling the world round, decided to stop in this town he had found. A learned man, noble and wise, he could see through any disguise. He soon replaced their smiles and cheers with gaping jaws and open ears. Amazed by his wondrous words of wisdom, they did sit and they did listen. The wise man paused and turned his tired ear. He said, "What is that I hear?" Attention shifted to the side. After a moment, the people replied,
"Oh, you mean that violin? That's the Blue Chequered Harlequin."
"He is really nothing at all.
He just sits and plays on the wall."
He was amazed by what he had heard. A beautiful sound without a word. Straight to the harlequin the wise man went. He exclaimed, "Why, this musician is magnificent." The people didn't get it. The harlequin had no credit. They said,
"He's so worthless and weak. He's just a mute."
"A clown."
"A freak."
The wise man just stood and sighed. He looked at them and replied, "Why? Because he cannot verbally speak? This is a man of great technique. He is a man still, and one of great skill. If no one else will admit it, then I certainly will." The people stood stupefied. After a pause, they replied,
"We refuse to let him in, this Blue Chequered Harlequin.
We thought he was weird, so off he was sent. He does seem to have tremendous talent. We used to think he was nothing at all.
But he's really something. something after all.
And so the people gathered round as the wise man left the town. The people couldn't help but grin. They now loved the Harlequin. He no longer felt sad and blue, and the people finally got a clue. As they finally seemed to see the light, the checkers faded from the Harlequin's tights, and so a new career would begin for the Blue Chequered Harlequin. And before we say good night, I will end this story right. From that day on he was hight the marvelous, magnificent musician in white.